Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we got for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak that's set to release on both the Nintendo Switch and on PC on June 30th. And thanks to director Suzuki, the director for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, who usually takes to Twitter about once a week to provide us with brand new information and brand new details regarding the development of the game, we got a couple of brand new interesting updates that I wanted to go over that we simply had not seen before. Now, to be quite fair, the past few weeks, the updates that they have provided us with have not necessarily been all that interesting. So in this case, I decided to kind of combine two of the most recent updates that we got from them directly to kind of provide a little bit of a better context and a fuller picture of the information that they're trying to give us. And today we're going to be talking about specifically about the brand new admiral you are going to be fighting in elgado. This is the outpost in the brand new land you're going to be exploring, and the Royal Knights. These are the people that pretty much are in charge of also backing up the hunter whenever they kind of run into trouble. And we got some new details regarding that as well. So in the first official tweet, they usually post these in Japanese and in English, but the Japanese one this time around was pretty much the same one as the English one, so we're going to avoid that one. And in the English tweet, they actually say, "We recently revealed more details about the elgado outpost, led by Admiral Gallius, with Dame Furain in his second in command. The Knights of the Royal Order operate from this base, tasked with carrying out missions and other research activities." This is a post from Suzuki, the director for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And the image that they attached to this specific post is an image of the Admiral himself and the two Royal Knights, which at the time had remained unnamed. We simply had seen them on the trailer, we have seen them in this type of images before, but at the time we simply didn't necessarily know their names. And that actually went ahead and changed just recently as they followed up with a subsequent tweet, this was from a few days ago, that reads as follows. These two were shown standing beside Admiral Gallius in the recent trailer. Dame Lucica specializes in ranged artillery, and Sir Jay specializes in weapons and close combat. And then of course they attached an image as well where we get to see Royal Knight Jay, voiced by Griffin Burns, which is one of the voice actors for the game. This will be the knight with the red hair and the red cape. And of course Royal Knight Lucica, voiced by Karen Strassman, basically in the purple outfit with the purple hat, looking rather elegant to be quite honest. So this is pretty much the two brand new Royal Knights that we know are also supporting the Admiral in the outpost elgado. Now, at the same time, also the profiles on the official website were updated as well, and we now have a profile description for Admiral Gallius. Now, interestingly enough, we don't have one for the other two, so sadly we don't necessarily know all their little storyboarding details regarding that just yet. But when it comes to Admiral Gallius, it actually reads as follows: the leader of the Knights of the Royal Order and the commanding officer of elgado outpost. Though a man of a few words, his dignified presence and unwavering leadership abilities have earned him stalwart trust of the Royal Order and the citizens of the kingdom. Now, there's a lot of things to kind of pick off here and there. Basically, they're saying that not only is he regarded as the man in the land that you basically need to follow the word of what he says. He's kind of the chief of the village, if you will, if you want to put it that way. But also, he's so dignified that even the people back at the kingdom, which again, they still don't specifically name it. They just kind of keep referring it to as the kingdom. They hold him as such high regard that they put him in charge of elgado, which according to a couple of other details that we got our hands on as well, they're basically now starting to expand upon. And we now actually know that elgado has kind of just been being put together on the fly. You're kind of like the hunter helping out, kind of investigate the entire menace of Malzeno and the three creatures that you're going to be dealing with specifically. But you don't necessarily know much about the land itself, because they don't know much about the land itself or its surroundings. So they're kind of painting that picture of there is something secretive happening behind the scenes, even though you do know about these three monsters that are kind of causing havoc in the citadel. And even then you're still kind of unsure about the local surroundings to that area. So they're still lore wise kind of being very vague when it comes to some of the details, even in the official wording. Now, sadly, again, we don't get many details regarding Dame Lucica or Sir Jay, who basically they say he specializes in weapons and close combat, presumably this is going to be a person that you are going to be dealing with if you're going to be needing help when it comes to that. And range artillery, presumably they're talking about cannons and stuff like that when it comes to Luchica, so they're going to be helpful in that regard. If you have to do like a siege weapon type of thing, most likely she'll be in charge of that. But if you need like something more a close to combat type situation, Sergei is going to be the one that you're going to be dealing with. They do have a specific image here in the official website that gives us a little bit more clarity as to where these characters are going to be making an appearance, and this is called the command post in elgado. It basically reads as follows: the command post is the nerve center of the research activity in elgado. The current research concerns the mystery of the sudden aggressive behaviors and territorial expansion of the kingdom's monsters. So even in that description, specifically when they're talking about the command post, they're not very specific as to what it is you're going to be really focusing on. They keep making it about the 3 monsters in the Citadel, but we know there's going to be more than that. So they're not necessarily being very specific as to ultimately why they're going so far out to be able to explore this entirely new area, which again has kind of been like unbeknownst to them, if you will, and they're kind of like finally starting to take a closer look, mostly because of Malzeno's activity. So we still don't necessarily know what does that ultimately mean. But here in this shot of the command post, we do get to see pretty much Admiral Gallius kind of like at point in command, Dame Luchica on one of the sides, Sir Jay on the other, and you also see Knight of the Royal Oil Furain standing there as well. So basically they're all kind of right there, pretty much ready to lead the hunter, you presumably, into whatever excursion or quest they have pending for you at that moment in time. Now, I know a lot of the stuff that they've been posting recently as well has been regarding Chiche. This will be the quest Damsel, which there's a whole lore situation going on with that. I kind of want to make a separate video and discuss that a little bit more thoroughly and give my impressions on that and basically all the information that we know regarding that as well in a separate video, because I think there's a lot to cover. But here specifically, I just kind of wanted to talk about specifically the Admiral and the Knights of the Royal Order, which pretty much kind of like deserve their talking points, because ultimately at the end of the day, these are going to be your quest givers. These are going to be the people who are kind of going to be in charge of like guiding you and telling you this is the threat, this is what you have to do, this is where you need to go. There are other people in the pretty much the elgado outpost that you're going to be dealing with, like the scientist, like the smithy, the merchant, the damsel, of course, as well. But the people making the calls, this would be the Admiral and the Knights of the Royal Order, pretty much ready to help whenever you need them. Everything else is kind of like going by the wayside. We've even discussed in the most recent video kind of like my idea regarding the rampage and like how less of importance that's kind of being given. So like even the situation with Camera Village, which presumably to me means that we're going to get to go back to Camera Village and do some important tasks there. Even at some point in the story, they kind of have to relate to that as well. We still don't necessarily know how important it's going to be to go back to the village where everything is going to be at the feet of elgado, and if it's just at the Citadel, or they're going to introduce a couple of new areas as well. We're still waiting to see the details on that. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.